Hydro field cuts through my neighborhood.
For the salvation of all of those who live in that totalitarian darkness. Pray they will discover the joy of knowing God. But until they do, let us be aware that while they preach the supremacy of the state, declare its omnipotence over individual man, and predict its eventual domination of all peoples on the earth, they are the focus of evil in the modern world.
Born like this, into this, as the chalk faces smile, as Mrs. Death laughs, as the elevators break, as political landscapes dissolve, as a supermarket bag boy holds a college degree, as the oily fish spit out their oily prey, as the sun is masked. We are born like this, into these carefully mad wars, into the sight of broken factory windows of emptiness, into bars where people no longer speak to each other, into fistfights that end up as shootings and knifings. Born into this, into hospitals which are so expensive that it's cheaper to die, into lawyers who charge so much it's cheaper to plead guilty, into a country where the jails are full and the madhouses closed, into a place where the masses elevate fools into rich heroes. Born into this, walking and living through this, dying because of this, muted because of this, castrated, debauched, disinherited because of this, fooled by this, used by this, pissed on by this, made crazy and sick by this, made violent, made inhuman by this. The heart is blackened, the fingers reach for the throat, the gun, the knife, the bomb. The fingers reach toward an unresponsive God. The fingers reach for the bottle, the pill, the powder. We are born into this sorrowful deadliness. We're born into a government 60 years in debt that will soon be unable to even pay the interest on that debt. And the banks will burn. Money will be useless. There will be open and unpunished murder in the streets. It will be guns and roving mobs. Land will be useless. Food will become a diminishing return. Nuclear power will be taken over by the many. Explosions will continually shake the earth. Radiated robot men will stalk each other. The rich and the chosen will watch from space platforms. Dante's Inferno will be made to look like a children's playground. The sun will not be seen and will always be night. Trees will die. All vegetation will die. Radiated men will eat the flesh of radiated men. The sea will be poisoned. The lakes and rivers will vanish. Rain will be the new gold. The rotting bodies of men and animals will stink in the dark wind. The last few survivors will be overtaken by new and hideous diseases. And the space platforms will be destroyed by attrition and the petering out of supplies, the natural effect of general decay. And there will be the most beautiful silence never heard, born out of that. The sun hidden there, awaiting the next chapter. Serious shit.
Very good. The greatest evil is not done now in those sordid dens of crime that Dickens loved to paint. It is not even done in concentration camps and labor camps. In those, we see its final result. But it is conceived and ordered, moved, seconded, carried, and minuted in clear, carpeted, warmed, and well-lighted offices by quiet men with white collars and cut fingernails and smooth-shaven cheeks who do not need to raise their voice.
1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store. Speaking of the environment.
Meet this climate crisis, exacerbating the need for environmental justice. Sorry, as a book.
Donald Trump does pose an existential threat. There's things that are worth dealing with China. It makes it far more durable, reliable, and powerful. And partnerships built on coercion. And a second for the ladies department. You know what I mean? What makes his wild claims and hopes. He now hopes we don't notice what he said or won't remember. And when he does follow through, or doesn't do and follow through, the exact opposite. 1.2 billion. So you go ahead and you stack spaghetti sauce at a store in a supermarket. You control the guy or the woman who brings out the carts on a forklift. What happened? The way China will respond is when we gather the rest of the world that in fact engages in open trade and making sure that we're in a position that the world that we deal with WHO the right way. That in fact that's when things began to change. I looked at it anyway. That's what I think my plan. I know what my plan does. But it's not about. I know. And I had nurses at Walter Reed Hospital who would bend down and whisper in my ear, go home and get me pillows. They would make sure they'd actually probably nothing ever taught in. You can't do it in the COVID time, but they'd actually breathe in my nostrils to make me move, to get me moved. So you don't make somebody else sick. What's with this time? Well, the only thing we can do about it is be prepared. We have a whole group of lawyers who are going out to every voter registration physician in the states, the secretaries of state, making sure that they, in fact, have a game plan as to how they're going to allow the voting to take place. You know, in the 2020 census, which is now 2 censuses ago, soon to be, estimated that 200 million people have died, probably by the time I finish this talk. Unnecessarily, now we have over 120 million dead from COVID. That's why I made it a priority my entire career to work closely with you. From the time I got to the Senate 180 years ago, as well as my tenure as vice president. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Kingswood Community Center. Actually, that's the one down I used to work. It's a joke. You know where we were. Anyway, welcome to the nation's Constitution Center. I had the great privilege of being the guest leader of this outfit for a year. It's an appropriate place to make. That's the kind of first lady about to make. This Jill Biden will be. God bless you. I know you're trying to goad me, but I mean, I'm so forward looking to have an opportunity to sit with the president or
what is he talking about?
I have no idea. He's just kind of babbling, stacking spaghetti sauce on the shelf at the supermarket. Truck driver, bobsled, hand grenade.
Fewer.
Stem cells.
Not more, fewer.
All right.
Yeah, it's the theme from Dementia. Exactly. It starts off with Bukowski dystopia, slides nice into some light Ronnie Reagan, and then Joe just babbling incoherently at the end. It's a lot like my life, I think.
Yipper, good to see you. Good to see
Lady
everybody
Alex.
else that's here. We appreciate you guys. I had a rough day. I'm just gonna let you guys know off the bat. I had a rough day. And I was like, man, do I even want to do a stream? But you know what? I always feel better when I do.
You should have played the Having a Hard Day, Make It Funky song, because that would have lifted your spirits tremendously.
But
we went the other way. We went the other way with it.
Yipper. So yeah, had a rough day today, and then I found out that YouTube took down one of my videos, because that good old censorship.
Good old censorship.
It's the one that I got the legal notice for, the legal privacy claim on, for covering Eliza Blue.
She got a blue flag on the play, and apparently that counts. And even if you remove the infraction points that they point out,
yeah,
they'll still just take it down.
Yeah, and so yeah, Miguel. So we removed. I had Steve edit out the part that she went after. It was during a Fair and Balanced. It was a promo for her upcoming documentary.
Trailer for a documentary.
And there was a clip in there that covers. It was all public video. Like none of it was private. She used World. Oh my gosh, what is her name? World Star.
Yeah.
So she used a clip from this particular video that Eliza Blue has now since gotten everybody flagged on Twitter that has shown that, and all of their videos are all taken down. I don't know if she got everybody, but it's really crazy because that's like, I'm a smaller channel, but I had 800, 900 views on that stream and a bunch of likes. And, it was actually really helping me. It
was playing pretty good. And
so then we got that notice last week. And so I had Steve edit out the part that YouTube identified that there was a privacy concern with. And I said, just let's remove that part. So it's not there.
Yeah.
And so the part is not there, and they still came and took my video down.
And I did edit the part out and then some, just like a little chunk out of the video, because it was just easier to grab it where I did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just nonsensical. Like, really, you guys said this is the part, and then I remove it and there's still a problem? That just tells me that the World Star video is like the main incriminating thing. Like, anybody who had anything to do with that video is getting spanked for their video now. And it looks like Timcast might have woken up to what's actually happening all around him in real time.
Yeah.
To people.
Apparently, he's now
cool.
seeing that the censorship is happening because people just basically asked the question of her, and she and people got censored. So that's the real problem. Like, what you did in your past and your past life, that wasn't the conflict. It wasn't YouTube drama like some people are trying to portray this as. This was actually about censorship in its entirety. And she could be maybe not telling the truth about her past, but that really wasn't the primary focus of it. It was there's a bunch of holes in her story.
Wait a minute, how did you come to that conclusion?
I did.
Did you use your critical thinking
skills? I used my
skills?
critical thinking skills.
That is illegal in at least 3 states: Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin. I'm pretty sure right now. At the time of this taping, I believe those states will have outlawed critical thinking, as Frank Zappa predicted.
You see what Little said?
What did Little say? He said, "Popping cherries and tattooed nuts." That's should be that emoji should fix Lucky up. That's really Little is so thoughtful. Fucking
yeah. So I coined the term blue flag.
Cha-ching.
Pay
her now.
When you
she made a thing.
When you cannot, like when somebody says just trust me and doesn't provide any evidence to the claim.
Yeah.
When somebody wants you to just trust them without any evidence, that's called a blue flag.
Just running on faith.
Yeah.
That was a song.
Everybody should be using their critical thinking skills, and you should always ask for source or evidence, or use your critical thinking skills to look up that evidence yourself. But make sure that, like, if you're going to do that, you do it from all perspectives and all angles, even ones that you may not
They make you
like the answer.
give you the bad feels and stuff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, and then sometimes you have to really dig to really find the answer, and you have to be able to like hold that. I talk about this a lot, being able to hold that like that truth that there may be evidence that comes along later on that changes your mind on something, and that your perspective might have to evolve and change. And we need to remember that. I feel like we get stuck in like certain ways of thinking. And it's really easy to get stuck in the mud and just like spin our tires and be like, no, this is true because of this, and close our minds off to it.
How dare you tell me to open my mind and accept other perspective?
Yes,
what gives
Miguel,
you the
copyright Burrito 2023. Blue flag.
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, I got an idea for a T-shirt.
So, you know, it doesn't matter who is telling you something, you know, doesn't matter who. Ask for source documents or evidence if they're telling you something.
If you can.
You know, like, and I'm talking about like whether or not you're, you know, I mean, if you're genuinely asking for things, then people should be willing to help you at least go in the right direction or where to go if you're going to start doing some research yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously we don't want to just take somebody else's research and say, oh, okay, well, you're fine.
Right.
And we'll get into that.
And, yeah, you don't want to be gaslit by somebody else's opinion who claims to have done the research without actually following through and doing it yourself. So you can you know, have an opinion of your own. That's the most important thing, I think.
Yeah,
we could hope for it. And asking for those things shouldn't be as big a deal as sometimes it is.
Yeah, but I mean, like, also try to be like genuine about how you're asking. You know what I mean? Like, if you're asking for a source data or documentation of something, I think that, you know what I mean, it's always good to like ask in a respectful way. Like, do you have like a direction or keywords or like a way where I can, you know, source this information out for myself? You know?
Yeah, I think always in discourse, trying to keep it civil is like the most noble thing you can, because then people are more receptive to understanding and evolving their opinions or ideas. If you present them with, you know, information that helps them do that and they're open to it, then it's going to be successful.
Yeah.
And if you come at them like an asshole, they're going to treat you like an asshole. And I understand that kind of.
So I'm going to bring up this that I found. I woke up today and you can ask Steve. It was funny. I was like, I know what we need to talk about tonight on the show. I was like, we need to talk about this. We need to talk about critical thinking, because I feel like that's what's lacking. I feel like people not using their critical thinking skills. And
we needed to touch base with Michael Tomaszowski. Wait a minute. How do you say it? Tomaszowski. Michael Tomaszowski.
Yeah, the top 8 critical thinking skills and ways to improve them.
It's fun to try to pronounce his name correctly. There's a lot of looks like a lot of weird consonants and vowels.
Wait, this isn't what I thought this was. Wait, where is this?
It wasn't.
No, wait, this is down here. Oh, okay, it's down here.
Mm-hmm.
What are critical thinking skills and why you need them? Before we jump in to define critical thinking skills, let's run a quick experiment. All right. So I thought this was interesting because it's kind of like talks about how I was just saying, you know, like if you want information, like you have to look for it in different ways. And that's how I do my information. Like I try to look at it from like ways that even if I don't agree with it, like I look at it from that angle because I'm going to get different results with different keywords. And so this goes into before we jump into defining critical thinking skills, let's run a quick experiment. Let's try to find out if drinking coffee is good for you. So first, it says Google. I don't use Google. I personally use Brave. I find that it's a different type of search. And I'm not going to go into like how to do different searches, but people like there are YouTube videos on how to do research, and how to like, outline it and and all that, because it's different when you're really researching and looking into something. So it says first Google, or I would say alternatively Brave or whatever search engine you're using, reasons not to drink coffee. And what you'll get is results that say, wow, decreased anxiety, healthier teeth, weight loss, and healthier heart. And then they're like, oh God, I'll never touch a coffee again. And how about reasons to drink coffee? So then they get different results, and it says lower rates of depression, memory boost, longevity, and wait for it, a healthier heart. Well, wait, I'll never trust the internet again. The twist, there are some random unsupported online claims. There is legit peer-reviewed research that backs every single one of these above findings. So how do you reconcile these contradictory claims? By thinking critically. My brain is starting to go backwards. And what does that mean, though? What is critical thinking? It's the ability to think in an organized and rational manner in order to understand connections between ideas and or facts. It helps you decide what to believe in. In other words, it's thinking about thinking, identifying, analyzing, and then fixing flaws in the way we think. How to be a critical thinker? To become one takes time, practice, and patience. But something you can start doing today to improve your critical thinking skills is apply the 7 critical thinking to every problem you tackle, either at work or your everyday life. Plus, there are some critical thinking questions to help you out at each of the steps. So the steps to it are identifying the problem or the question. Be as precise as possible. The narrower the issue, the easier it is to find solutions or answers. Gather your data, opinions, and arguments. Try to find several sources that present different ideas and points of view. Analyze and evaluate the data. Are the sources reliable? Are their conclusions data-backed or just argumentative? Is there enough information or data to support given hypotheses? And you should be like, no matter what the information is, like even this site right here, you know what I mean? We should be using our critical thinking on this site too. Like, what could their slant be? What are you
getting out of telling me how to critically think about things? Huh?
Identify assumptions. Are you sure the sources you found are unbiased? Are you sure they weren't based on your search for answers? Establish significance. What piece of information is most important? Is the sample size sufficient? Are all options and arguments even relevant to the problem you're trying to solve? 6 is make a decision, reach a conclusion. Identify various conclusions that are possible and decide which, if any, of them are significantly supported. Weigh strengths and limitations of all possible options. And then it says present or communicate. Once you've reached a conclusion, present it to all stakeholders. Let's go back to our coffee example and examine if critically point by point. Everett. Okay, the cat's like trying to jump up. Stop it. Steve.
What is he doing? Why are you meowing so much?
He was trying to climb up there.
Stop trying to climb up there. You can't go up there, dude.
Okay. Sorry. Everett is this. Okay, so the problem in question is drinking coffee good for you? The approach is way too broad. First of all, what does good even mean? Secondly, we don't know if we're talking about long or short-term effects of drinking coffee. It's also possible that drinking coffee might benefit some aspects of your health while being detrimental to others. So let's narrow down the problem. Is drinking coffee good for your heart? So they break that down and they make it like where you go, okay, that makes more sense. I need to narrow this so I can focus on this a little bit better. So listed above, there are only 2 pieces of research that impact the drinking coffee on your heart.
Coffee helps me poop. So
Oh.
leopard.
The one suggests that drinking coffee can hold for premature deaths in the region of 14% for coronary heart disease or 20% for stroke. So, not to get into the whole coffee thing too much, you know what I mean?
Luke wants to know. Luke of the Bind NC wants to know if critical thinking has been outlawed already.
It feels like
It
it.
kind of feels a lot like that. Angela Sangster. All right, that's a good comment too. This chat's full of good comments.
Yes. Let's see. What did Angela say? We're no longer interested in finding out the truth. The bamboozled has captured us. It's simply too painful to acknowledge, even to ourselves, that we've been taken.
We're going to decriminalize speech again.
And once you give a charlatan power over you, you almost never get it back. Carl Sagan. Yeah. Yes.
Mic drop. Sometimes smart people say smart stuff that lasts a while. And people remind you of it. You're like, damn, that was fucking clever. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah. Yeah, fuck censorship. Seriously.
Bamboozle about
I just
love.
had everyone who just came in, I had one of my videos taken down off of YouTube.
This shit has hit the fan.
Not because I did anything wrong. Mouse said, critical thinking is okay, but going along with the crowd is so convenient.
It's so much easier, you guys.
It is. It is way easier to go along with the crowd and be wrong with the crowd.
Just be wrong, all right?
Then be the one person that's over here like,
who cares?
Hey, that's not right. That's not right.
And then they hate on the person saying the thing.
Well, remember,
because it isn't the thing they're all saying.
Well, you got to remember those doctors that started saying we need to wash our hands were once seen as like, you know, the outcasts. Like, how dare they want to do that? That's not right.
Yeah, the critical thinking doesn't necessarily have to involve criticizing people, but their thinking abilities perhaps might come into question, as far as I know. But yeah, I think you know, let's see. What do? You live alone in the woods for 20 years, be left with nothing but your thoughts folding in on itself over and over, like batter in a mixer, until finally you see the abyss, you see the grass grow. Wow, man. Is Salty on mushrooms again tonight? What is happening?
I don't know.
But
that was
sure.
nice.
Absolutely. I'm down if anybody has you know, a quiet place. Let's see. I put a blue and yellow face diaper on my Assange poster to confuse people.
Luke said, not the right type of critical thinking. People criticize people and think that is enough.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. People tend to do that, though. That you're right. That's what they do. They just criticize and they don't actually point out the flawed reasoning.
Yeah.
Flawed Reasoning, the name of my next album, ladies and gentlemen. Buy it now. Flawed Reasoning by Steve. Steve and the Poor Judgments. Go start. It's all part of the hashtag Save Steve Cutler World Tour we're going to embark on here as soon as I get out of the basement.
Oh, behave yourself or I'm sticking you back in the basement.
So,
getting back to this article, it says both articles cited have appeared in prestigious peer-reviewed journals, but one of them was based on literature review only and no original studies. The second one, although conducted in a large 25,000 participants sample of men and women, includes only Korean population. People whose hearts can be affected by other factors such as diet or climate.
Yeah.
So it just goes to show that even when you do your research and you're like, okay, well, I'm using my critical thinking skills and I'm trying to evaluate this. Can you get him what he needs? I don't know what is happening. Sorry. Man, like I said, I'm sorry, everybody. I had a really long day. I had a really rough day today. And I woke up so excited to talk about this. Like I really, really wanted to talk about this. And I felt like this is something that we're missing in our research and when people are presenting us with information and everything. Like everyone is just asking you to replace your opinion with their own. And I don't think that that's the way to go. I think that you need to question, you know what I mean? Question even your reliable sources. Don't just take things as facts. Don't just say, well, these people have been right in the past, so I'm going to listen to them today. You know, there needs to be more questioning and not just saying, okay, I take your word for it. Yeah. Because even as this article goes on, it says that, like two sources don't appear biased. We were. So, it depends on how you're searching for things. When you're looking for things, you have to like really consider the whole picture of it. Because if you want to find that, coffee is good for you, you can find that. You can find stuff to back that on the internet. You can find that. If you want to find how it's bad for you, you can find that. But if you want to find the truth, then you're going to have to use some discernment and use your critical thinking skills to figure out where that truth really is. The second thing we have over here, I have a video that I was going to play a little bit of. And go through it. We'll be going through chapter 1 of this. And that wasn't supposed to play. And okay. Everett, no. He was gonna try to climb through that.
You can't. You can't go through there. It's not a highway for cat.
It's not a highway for a cat, but the cat thinks highway. It is a cat highway.
It's not a cat highway, bro.
I'm going to add this over here.
Are you out on the kitty highway? Come on, man.
All right. I'm going to mute me, and I'm going to play this for him a few minutes, and then we'll pause it back up in a second.
So before we get to the questions, let's talk about how we think. There's 4 kinds of thinking that we engage in a regular basis. The first kind is ritual thinking. These are things that we do without being aware, such as driving to work or school, tying our shoes, brushing our teeth, things that we've done so many times, they're automatic. Then we have random thinking, which is our daydreaming or spontaneous thoughts, such as imagining your wedding before you find someone to actually marry you. Random thinking can be anything from fantasizing about someone or thinking about a vacation or just imagining what you're even going to have for lunch. Then we have appreciative thinking. And this is the awareness that we like something, such as seeing an attractive person or seeing a particularly good-looking hamburger or a car that we think is really nice. And again, these are the kinds of thinkings that they just kind of pop in and out of our head. Then we get to the fourth kind, which is critical thinking. And this is conscious thinking. This is an objective analysis and evidence evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment. So if someone says to you, they need help solving a problem at their job, and they're going to give you the circumstances, they're asking you to look at the facts, evaluate them, and give an objective analysis. So this critical thinking is really what we look at in terms of that higher order executive thinking. Critical thinking involves two distinct processes. First, we need a credible source with credible information. And this can oftentimes be the most challenging part, because the definition of credible is in some ways in the eye of the beholder. Someone who is very, very conservative will look at Fox News as being very credible. Somebody who is more progressive or liberal will see Fox News as a very unreliable source for information. So there's a lot of information that we bring to the table with us that determines how we filter information, whether it's credible or not. The other aspect is we have to analyze this information to determine if it is clear, accurate, precise, consistent, relevant, reasonable, and fair. These are the elements that we need to assess in order to determine the true credibility, in the sense of being as objective as you can. And we're going to go through this in more detail as we go through the semester. But this is what we have to do in order to really feel comfortable with material. So let's go over the characteristics of a critical thinker. First and foremost, they're open-minded. When you hear something or someone tells you some information, do you automatically discount what they're saying? Or do you believe that it is potentially true and that you just want to be able to verify the facts? So if somebody...
I feel like that's a really big thing for me, is being open-minded, and also being aware that, being able to take the new ideas in, or the new thoughts in, but also at the same time, able to ask for more. What? Applejack. To be able to still ask questions about that information that you're getting. Yeah, Steve?
I think that's absolutely perfect, the way you just said that.
Okay.
I could not add anything more.
Okay, I'm going to mute us and we'll play this for a minute.
He says to you, for example, that the moon landing in 1968 never actually happened. Well, you can be open-minded, but, if you know the evidence, you can also say, nope, this is actually proven that it actually happened. But again, you bring your own hopes, dreams, aspirations to anything. So a lot of people who are open-minded maybe are too open-minded. And we'll talk about that also. You have to be honest with yourself, and you have to be willing to admit when you're wrong. Admitting that you're wrong does not make you a bad person, a stupid person, or any other negative value that you can apply. It just means that you were wrong. It's like playing Jeopardy with the TV at home. You're shouting out answers, and sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes you're right.
I think that that's really important to acknowledge.
Yes.
That we're humans. We're going to get stuff wrong
all the time.
And I have so much more respect for somebody that can come back and say, hey, I was wrong about that. or, like I shouldn't have done that, or like just any self-reflection at all, I have so much more respect for somebody that does that has that ability. Instead of just doubling down when, you know what I mean? People double down when they're wrong and they just take it and run with it. And it's like, that could have been so much easier if you just like admitted the truth. Like the truth should be the always the answer.
And the thing about it is too, when you are proven wrong, you should embrace that, because it's showing you that you can evolve further from your current position, and that you are in the company of someone who is just that much brighter and on the right path to things.
They just have information that
they have information that brings you to a higher level. That's a beautiful thing. I think we all should strive for that. And I think the lady who made this PowerPoint presentation worked very hard on it, and it came out really good.
He is being a brat.
Mm-hmm. And I only said that because Lady Alex was goofing on Honest Abe.
Everett is being a brat. Well, I mean, no, but I think that the information that they have on this, I think it's important. I'm going to put the link in the...
I was only being sarcastic because it's really well done.
It is. Mm-hmm. I thought it was laid out enough, like where it could give us a basis where we could kind of comment on it and kind of see where we go from here. All right, I'm going to mute us and play it.
And then you laugh when you're wrong, and you give a triumphant high five to yourself when you're right. But you have to be honest about it. Courage to take initiative. The worst thing compared to failure is not trying. If you don't try, you'll never succeed. If you don't try, you'll never be successful. If you don't try, you'll never fail. So you have to try in order to gamble on that risk that you will succeed or you will fail. Are you willing to confront problems and meet challenges? Are you aware of your own biases and prejudices? Most of us, whatever biases and prejudices we carry around with us, were instilled in us by our family by the time we were 6 or 7 years old. So if you grow up in a household where mom and dad don't like a particular race or religion, you're going to parrot that information, because the two most important people in your life are your mom and dad. And consequently, it's not till you're older do you see those statements as potentially being prejudicial. And at that point, you make the decision to embrace that particular prejudice or reject that particular prejudice.
I think that's really interesting. That, up and like in your youngest years, the years that you probably remember the least about are the most influential years.
Yeah. I agree with that. Successor, I don't even know.
I mean, I know who I was, as a 7-year-old. I know what kind of kid I was. I know what kind of integrity I had. Because when I was asked a question, so I grew up without my biological dad, and I had my mom and my stepdad, and they got married when I was 4, and they took me away from everything I knew in Washington State, where I was from, and I lost contact with all of my family, my dad, with everybody. And when I was 7, I was asked if I wanted to be adopted and take my stepdad's last name. And I remember as a 7-year-old child, I remember very clearly, like where we were, the state we lived in. I remember where my mom and I were sitting. We were sitting on my bunk bed on the lower bunk. They were this end up bunk beds. And she asked me, and I said, no, I wanted to keep my last name so that my dad could find me. And that's what I said at 7 years old. I've always been this person. I've always been the one that's like, stood up against the crowd or stood up against what was easy or what was, like seen to be the easy way. I've always stood by like, having, principles. That's who I was as a little girl.
Yeah.
So I still that's who I still am. Doesn't like get any easier though.
No. Gets tested on the regular. Like Josh shared that link to our little back and forth with pasta and all of that on the Twitter, and it's is what it is.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Like I had a rough day.
That was part of the rough day. Yeah. So,
No, Applejack sent a message.
Applejackson. I want an Apple Jackson action figure. When are you going to commodify yourself fully, sir?
What?
He needs to have action figures.
Applejack?
Yeah. Come on, think about it. He's like a superhero guy. He would make an excellent action figure. Yeah, if he isn't already one. Because might already be one. I don't know.
No, wait. What was it that Applejack was saying though a while back?
What was he saying?
Oh my God, that somebody got arrested, Steve.
Oh, somebody got arrested.
Oh my gosh.
Now I'm looking.
I believe it was the predator, the guy that was preying on children. That is an issue that I.
Was it the YouTube guy?
Yeah, here I found it. It's highlighted? Like way back here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he is arrested and behind bars. Thank you, Applejack, for bringing that to my attention. That's right good news.
Yeah. Why can't I don't know how to operate this computer for nothing. Annoying.
Oh, Applejack is drunk.
Uh-oh. We knew this day was going to come.
And don't let your car drive.
Do not let your car drive, no matter how he asks.
No matter what.
Josiah Mitsukami.
Yeah, that's
Josiah Mitsukami. Is the J a J sound or a H sound?
Salty, me too. I wish that I had vetted him myself a lot better. I honestly do. Like, I really like. I wish that everybody kind of had, and if we're supposed to be like the left, I guess, and
John Kemper,
and have morals and integrity, and then we need to start holding ourselves to that.
Yep. That's cool. I think you should finish the PowerPoint. Yeah,
I should do that.
Come on.
I'm not.
PowerPoint.
Okay. No, let's unmute.
Girl.
Can you take constructive criticism from others? Or are you the type of person who's going to defend yourself in every single way? So if somebody says to you, hey, you need to work on how you use commas in your essays, do you tell them that they're stupid and they don't know what they're talking about, especially if this is your English teacher? Or do you maybe go home, look up some comma rules, and realize that you were making a mistake? And are you willing to disagree and argue your point of view with facts? So, for example, if you're a big supporter of a political candidate that a lot of people think is an idiot, are you willing to stand up and say, no, he's not, or no, she's not, and this is what she's done? You can't just say, that's my opinion, and that be the end of it. If you want to engage in debate, you must have facts to support your position. On the right-hand side at the bottom is one of my all-time favorite quotes on the internet, and it's Abraham Lincoln saying, "Don't believe everything you read on the internet just because there's a picture with a quote next to it." And obviously this is a satire because Abraham Lincoln died in 1865, which was a good 130 years before the internet was made available to the public. Questions to ask when you are reading or listening to anything. This is going to help you be a better critical thinker. Why does someone want me to believe something? And there's an old saying, you follow the money. Almost always, not always, but almost always, somebody who's trying to convince you to do something, it's about money.
Money.
So that's something to really think about when someone's asking you to do something or they want you to believe something. Is it about money? And follow that. You might not like the answers that you start when you start using critical thinking skills, like really using them and really like making sure that you're using them and like practice using them. It sucks sometimes.
I think you wait. UN Owen says, wait, what is constructive criticism? Does it mean I should be pro comma, or should I
of course
comma blindly serve comma everything I do comma is correct? Question mark. Yes, that's exactly what it means, Owen. So you got it. You're good, man. You're on the right. What do you call
Applejack,
it?
I'm not a
Syntax.
good grifter. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not a good grifter.
Oh, we gotta improve our grifting skills.
I know
if
we're
gonna
really
fucking get
bad. Like
anywhere.
we don't even promote our own stuff half the time. But it reminds me. Okay, I'll put it down here. I'll put it on a ticker in case
you can't be grifting if you don't try to put up your grifting credentials.
Well, I don't even know if it's grifting credentials. We're not requiring, like we conversate with you guys.
We just try to tell people.
No matter whether you give us a
don't
tip or not.
Be susceptible to the subliminal programming going on the bottom of the screen. Just pay no attention to it.
Well, I mean, it's not what it's about for us,
No,
like
but
it helps, but it's not like we're not like, yeah, we're only going to read your comment or care about what you say if you know what I mean, if you give us money. It's not how it is here.
No, but there's going to be some changes around here. People are going to have to send us weed every day.
No,
if they want us to put their name on the thing.
What?
I don't know. I'm just pleading with people to send us weed, as always. I've been doing this for a couple of years. It's never worked once, but hey, I'm hopeful.
Oh,
I'm an optimist.
Okay, I'm not the grifter. Applejack is the grifter. I'm just his vehicle for grifting.
Oh, so you wash his money? Is it gross? Is it like covered in stripper sweat and stuff?
Oh, I don't know. All right, let's get back to this.
DSO and stripper sweat.
So yeah, just remember to follow that money.
And them making money, whether it's a small time kind of situation where there is someone trying to sell you windows from your front door, to those emails and snail mail envelopes you get trying to have you buy things through them. Every time you watch a commercial, they want you to buy something. Every time you see a plea from a charity, they want your money. So, ask yourself, why do they want me to believe this? Also, what were the potential problems with what's being said? Are there inconsistencies? These inconsistencies really do, to a large extent, identify potential issues. Additionally, how do I evaluate this information? Can I fact check it? Can I assess this? Is the information reasonable and can I form my own opinion? A lot of times we hear things and they don't sound right. And this is when you should pull out your cell phone or go on the internet through your tablet, laptop, desktop, anything else you've got going on there, and see if you can find information that either validates or rejects what you've been hearing. So here we have two experts who are saying completely opposite or close to opposite statements. You have Neil deGrasse Tyson, who is the director of the Hayden Planetarium, which is part of the American Museum of Natural History, where Tyson founded the Department of Astrophysics in 1997. He holds degrees from Harvard, University of Texas at Austin, and Columbia University. And clearly that means he's a slacker. So he says, people say save the Earth. No, don't worry about the Earth. Earth will be here long after we render ourselves extinct. What happens is we're changing the climate faster than our culture may be able to respond. So get ready for that. It's going to redraw the maps of our world. So clearly he believes that climate change is occurring and that the Earth will eventually rebound. But in the meantime, those of us humans may not be able to adapt and survive. On the right-hand side, we have Freeman Dyson, who is a retired professor of physics at the Institute of Advanced Study in Princeton, where he worked with Feynman, who's the equivalent of Albert Einstein in terms of Americans, on the unification theory of quantum electrodynamics. And he holds degrees from Cambridge, which is in England, and Cornell. And he says, I am saying that all predictions concerning climate are highly uncertain. In other words, he's saying, I don't know. I can't say one way or the other. These are both very well respected experts in their field. And that leads to the next question. Which one is correct? To figure this out, one must engage in critical thinking. The basis of critical thinking is asking critical questions. And it's not always easy to determine who is right. The research you do.
He's like, come to my house. I got weed.
But when you ask questions, sometimes sticking your neck out and asking questions gets you backlash. And you have to be prepared for that.
Oh, you know what? You could pretty much suffice to say that most times when there's a situation where it appears that you'll have to be sticking your neck out to say something, expect backlash, because if people are actually paying attention, they'll be like, what did they say? And they'll try to figure it out with you. But the other people who immediately just knee jerk a reaction and block you and won't communicate anymore, that's just nonsense. Like people will give you backlash.
How you react to
don't
it.
be a snowflake and deal with it. You can take it. Somebody says a bad, mean word to you. You can handle it. You have the power.
I think that's something that we need to always remember, right?
Yes, despite what AOC claims is violence, words are just that, and they can't break your skin. They can't hurt you.
I mean, you can physically feel like emotional pain by somebody's words, but the words physically cannot harm you.
Angela says, careful, Applejack. Get online and start inviting people over. You'll end up like with some head case that wants to keep you in the basement. You don't want to end up like Steve,
Oh my God.
Angela called you a head case.
What?
No. Yeah, because you keep me in the basement, so it's your fault.
What is happening over here?
I don't know. Damn, that escalated quickly. All right. Yeah, he has guns, and visit at your own risk. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. He seems like a good enough guy until he shot me. Just kidding. He didn't shoot me.
Okay.
Free Steve Cutler. Thank you.
Yes, we need to.
Isn't this a cult? Well, we're trying to get it together, John, and maybe eventually the grifting and the cult status will come together and coalesce into a thing, a vehicle to lift us higher in the echelons of grifters.
We're
everywhere.
a cult of critical thinkers,
of
I guess, like where we don't all agree.
That's right. We're a cult of disagreement.
That's
Fuck
not
you.
normal for cults, though. Cults are usually are don't think for yourself.
That's right.
Replace my thoughts with yours.
Yeah, it's one of those.
Replace my thoughts with
It's just
yours.
one of those crazy out there cults, man. It's designed to make you think critically, and then you think so critically that you can't think critically anymore, and you break your critical thinker, and then you're in the cult forever. Religion, exactly, Lady Alex. Thank you.
Popeye, I vote to pack another bowl. Yes.
Here. I second that vote. This is a club. Exactly, Luke. It's not a cult, despite what people call it or think of it. Listen to what I say and question me not at all. Pay no attention to the streaming banner across the bottom of your screen urging you to send money now. What? Oh, I was supposed to say that quieter. Damn it. My teleprompter's on the fritz.
Miguel said, regardless of critical thinking, emotions play a huge role in our reactions, especially in the heat of the moment. Yes, I agree that can absolutely, you never know what somebody's been through in their life, and how you respond to them, and it can definitely affect them.
Whoa, Snowy's got his consumption, his weed consumption down to 30-minute intervals. He can take 2 tokes and pass it on. And then I think I'm a critical stinker sometimes.
Oh my God, yes.
I have been once before.
Yeah.
Or two, 3, a couple times. Lady Alex, sleep well. She's one of the coolest kids in the cult, you guys.
Do you see what Mouse said?
What am I saying?
Is it there?
It's a gathering of like minds who share an interest in esoteric knowledge and canned meat.
Uh-oh.
There's your cue.
I'm stoned. I'm running behind here. Where is it?
Oh, there's a buffer involved. It's the it's covered in meat butter right at the bottom of the fridge there.
Do you love margarine and polystyrene foam? Move over, Twinkie. This may outlast you in the apocalyptic times. You can rely on old meat butter for your end times. Meat butter. Not to be confused with ham that comes in a can. The best hams don't come in a can, and you need a plan in the apocalyptic times. That's where meat butter shines. Try meat butter from the makers of Spam. Your dog will thank you. Or will they?
Meat butter. Meat butter is not for human consumption or animal consumption. Please do not, by any means, feed meat butter to anyone you know or ever will know. Meat butter is very harmful, toxic, and will cause death. Not responsible.
Not responsible.
We are not responsible.
You're a critical sphincter.
Oh my God. Good night, you guys that are going to bed.
Good night,
I'm going to
sleepy
go
people.
back to this real quick. Yeah.
Will help you understand which expert is closest to your value system. So, for example, people who tend to follow Neil deGrasse Tyson tend to point to the fact that in every country other than the United States, the vast majority of scientists believe that climate change is occurring and that it is having a significant impact on the world. If you stay in the United States, there are a few scientists, and not a lot, who say climate change is a naturally occurring phenomenon that humans have no impact over. So again, you have to do your own research to figure out which one is closest to your set of values that you hold, which nobody can define but you. So, what are values? They are often unstated ideas that people see as worthwhile. They provide standards of conduct by which we measure the quality of human behavior. And we also tend to surround ourselves with friends and family who share the same values. So, down at the bottom here, we see a list of values, the ones that are really standing out, things like teamwork, respect, honesty, service, community, commitment, professionalism, excellence, integrity. Those are all values that we as Americans tend to value very, very highly. And we measure people by how well they meet these particular aspects. Loyalty, independence, those kinds of qualities are things that we see as heroic. Whereas dishonesty, disrespect, and disloyalty are all seen as values we don't respect. So the question is,
if I wants to know.
No, I don't think it's a court-ordered course.
It's a 6-part.
No, but I thought it was. She structured it really well.
It's a 6-part series. You have to come on Tuesday nights.
No,
to the downstairs rectory basement. Father Oblivion.
We're gonna wheel out the TV on the cart.
That's right. You know how to work these VCRs, you damn kids. Get out of my rectory basement.
Well, I thought that she made really good points on what she was saying.
Yeah, no, she did, but she does sound like a really sober, like she was made to do this by the state kind of vibe. That was a really good call, Popeye. That made me crack up immediately. I'm like, yes, it is. That's that lady from court. I remember her. Son of a bitch.
You see what Luke said?
Yes. Yeah, it is. It is good that it's a course, but it's sad that, people need. And could you just sound a little happier about it? I mean, just a little more positivity to it. She's like, God damn, fucking 4 more weeks of this shit. Those traffic tickets paid.
Yeah, but the point is what she's saying. It does. I know we can make fun of it, whatever.
No, but it's
it's valuable what she's saying.
Yes.
And she's talking about values right now, and I thought that that's important because what do we have as a collective value? As a community, as this community, as the larger communities that we're in, like what is our collective value? And I think that that's something that a lot of people are missing is that people have a collective value. Yeah. We have a red line where, we don't cross that red line as a collective, as a society.
Usually.
And
those are societal norms.
And I mean, and some people do. There's obviously people that cross over every line, but like they like we have to be able to think critically and stand up and put our neck out.
Right. That's typically the American Code of Conduct, is to break all of those, at least once or twice, and that makes you an outlaw because you broke all the laws and all the societal norms. You could get tattoos on your face and fuck you, don't look at my face. I got a tattoo on my face. Why are you looking at me? Because I got a tattoo on my face? Well, yeah, you look different than other people without tattoos on your face. But yeah, but it is. John Kemper says the American Code of Conduct. It really is. I agree.
I think that's like, so when I look at like our, whether it comes to like the politics of like, just life or of YouTube streamers, of content creators, of people on like, Twitter, I see that like certain sectors of people have certain core values, and that's why they're able to get stuff done, because they have the same core values. Their values remain the same. They're like, well, we can disagree on all these other things, but these are our basic core values that the majority of us hold. And we know what those are. And I feel like some over more to the left, it seems like the core values are not there and they're not established. And people aren't using their critical thinking skills. And that's like kind of where I feel like we're kind of sitting, and we're over here like, oh my gosh, we just want to use critical thinking skills. We just want to ask questions. We just want the truth. We just want to be able to find the truth. And that's what matters to us at our core. That is where we hold value. As I'm saying this, I'm meaning like, you know, like I can only speak for myself, and I know that Steve also. But
what? You speaking for me? Is that what you're saying?
Well, are those your core values?
Those are essentially my core values. Thank you for speaking them for me. I'll be quiet now. Did I say it right? This guy Applejack, he's a fucking killer, ladies. You better watch yourself.
Oh, he sent me something. Hang on.
Check your
He said
they will.
Tell Vicky I'm hitting on her.
Tell Vicky I'm hitting on her. I think she might have noticed. Apple suave.
Yeah, that's so funny. I love it. I get the little like ding. Applejack. Yeah, because we'll stop for that. We'll stop we're doing.
He's a force of nature. This guy. He just like you can't like have a pre-set up thing that you're gonna do, because you don't know. He could text you. He could right in the middle of your thing. He could just text you and say some stuff, and you'll be like, "Oh, okay, we're stopping what we're talking about because he's a funny bastard."
Oh my gosh. Okay, let me.
Applesauce. Go starts it. Pork chops and applesauce.
Oh my gosh, we used to eat that. Okay, I'm gonna mute us.
My friend Dan, can I just tell the story real quick? It's a short story. Dan Hall.
Get back in the basement.
Bless his heart. He used to say that you couldn't have pork chops because you would die unless you had applesauce, because the applesauce saved your life from the pork chops. If the pork chops were undercooked, then the applesauce would save your life somehow. And I believed it for like a minute.
What?
We were like 14 at the time. I'm like, really, dude? He's like, yeah, man, you gotta have applesauce with your pork. So try it. And he gave me some, and I'm like, yeah, it's good. It's good. I didn't know it was life saving, but damn, that's. So anyway, pork chops and applesauce. Thank you.
Oh my gosh, that's funny. So. Did it save your life? Like,
apparently I'm still here, ain't I?
I guess
I haven't had pork in years.
That's your critical thinking skills right there, guys. That's how to not use critical thinking skills.
He came to work and started drinking. He's done.
Oh no, Applejack.
Uh-oh. Bum 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 bum. I bet if we blast Hatebreed live for this, Apple will jump in his car over your apartment. That's possible. If the music is angry enough, I'm convinced anybody will do anything.
Oh my goodness. All right, I'm gonna mute.
And then do you yourself value critical thinking? And how do you know? Well, there's 4 values that a person who values critical thinking generally recognizes and, more importantly, tries to instill in themselves. First, we have autonomy, which is another word for saying independent. Are you willing to forge your own path and be your own person, make your own choices, not succumb to peer pressure? Curiosity. Are you the type of person who asks questions about topics they are learning about? A curious individual will never be bored because there is always something to learn. Humility. And this is understanding that no matter how smart you are, We all make mistakes, and it forces us to confront our own biases. So we have to be willing to admit you make mistakes and I make mistakes. And once you can admit you make a mistake, you can learn from those mistakes. And that's really the key here, is are you willing to learn from your mistakes? Lastly, respect for good reasoning. We are surrounded by people who want to influence us for a variety of reasons, but we need to be alert for good reasoning versus false reasoning. So, for example, if you're pregnant or your girlfriend is pregnant, wife, whomever, and somebody says, oh, is she going to breastfeed? Or if you're a woman, are you going to breastfeed? And they say, no, I hadn't thought about it. Why? And they say, well, it improves the immune system of the baby. It allows their digestive system to form naturally, and it also enhances the bond between mother and child. Those are all good reasons. Now, if on the other hand, you say, well, if you don't breastfeed, you're a bad mom. Well, the fact of the matter is there are just some moms who want to breastfeed but cannot for some physical problem that they may be having. And consequently, that doesn't mean that they're a bad mom. It just means they're unable to do this. So that would be false reasoning.
So that I thought that was a good section right there.
Yes.
How they're talking about like the different reasons.
The reasons for things, because reasons. That's why.
Well, I could bring it back.
I once was wrong once before.
Well, I think it's important to be able to
problem.
I think it's important to be able to say if you did, like, what I mean, when you are wrong, to be able to say that. I said that before.
Yes.
And then being able to have, good reasoning for things. I think that's important.
Welcome, Crystal. Crystal says, hi, all felt like shit all day. Jumped online to see all the poop throwing and ego trips. Can't stand the shit. Might need a political spirit break. Always a good career move.
We're talking about critical.
They're still going to be talking about bullshit no matter how long you stay away, too. So it's pretty good like that. It's just like a wheel that's perpetually spinning, going absolutely no fucking where. And
we're talking about critical thinking and stuff like that tonight. So it's a little bit of a different and break.
Breastfeeding was a personal choice. Well, after a while, I guess it does become one. More than one person's choice.
It is. That would go under like autonomy too. You know what I mean? Like bodily autonomy.
Autonomy. Respect my autonomy.
Miguel said there's so much more to critical thinking that it barely covers the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pretty deep subject. But this PowerPoint presentation is top notch.
I like the PowerPoint. I know you guys are teasing me over it, but I like the PowerPoint.
What's the lady's name? We need to get in touch with her. I want to.
You want to ask her questions?
I got a little, she made my critical thinker go off, and
let's get back to see what else she's got to say.
That they may be having, and consequently, that doesn't mean that they're a bad mom. It just means they're unable to do this. So that would be false reasoning. So let's look at some of the barriers to critical thinking. And you have to ask yourself, is this stuff that I do on a regular basis? We all do this once in a while because it's just shortcut in our thinking. But overall, you have to ask yourself, is this something that I'm doing a lot? First, egocentrism, self-centered thinking. It's all about you. If it works for you, then that's the only important thing. Alternatively, we have sociocentrism, which is that group-centered thinking, which is like peer pressure. You're pressured to conform. And I love this cartoon. All these people are wearing T-shirts that say "Be yourself," And then there's a guy over here who's shirtless, and they're all complaining that he's a nonconformist. So there's a little irony in all of that. Another one, and this is a very frequent or commonly occurring one, and it's called unwarranted assumptions. Beliefs that are presumed to be true without adequate evidence or justification, most often seen in stereotypes. So we see this guy in the red shirt out on the street. He's got big boots. He's got the tattoos. He's looks kind of scary. And then you see him in his work clothes. He's in a white lab coat. He's got a stethoscope. And again, the idea here is you can't tell a book by its cover necessarily. And you shouldn't judge people by one aspect. Then we have wishful thinking, which is believing that something is true because one wishes it were true. This is
Okay, I have to interrupt. I just have to say this without getting into like much detail. I would be more scared of the doctor right now than the guy. Just in the current, environment of what things are happening. Yeah, like
yeah, speaking of assumptions.
like don't assume that I would feel safe with a doctor over a person.
Speaking
It's
of
not.
stereotypes.
Like I just gotta give that little bit of feedback there.
I don't know. I might be out of blanket fluid. Blanket fluid. What the fuck are you kids fucking talking about?
See, that's me using my critical thinking skills right there. Like, why would I automatically think that the doctor is the good person? Like, I don't think that way. That wasn't my immediate thought. What I'm looking at, I'm thinking,
to be fair, this PowerPoint was made in 2017, so
yeah,
it was the before times.
It was the before times. But still, all right.
It's like wishing that you would win the lottery even though you never buy a lottery ticket. It's just kind of absurd. You have to be realistic. And if you're going to set a goal, you have to have the steps to achieve that goal. Relativistic thinking is believing that the truth is just a matter of opinion, which is absolutely false. There are some truths that are absolute. The sun will rise, the sun will set. It's not just an opinion that the sun may rise. There's also something called cultural relativism, and this is the principle regarding the beliefs, values, and practices of a culture from the viewpoint of that culture itself. As Americans, we know that the United States is the best country on earth. Well, weirdly enough, when you go to somewhere like Sweden or Norway, they think they're the best country on earth. The cartoon on the right-hand side there is a woman. She has got herself in a bikini, and she is saying, everything is covered but her eyes. What a cruel male-dominated culture. And then the woman on the right in the burqa is saying nothing is covered but her eyes. What a cruel male-dominated culture. And essentially this is saying, it's everything is from our perspective, from our bias. So in the United States, we see a woman at the beach in a bikini, and that's totally normal. Whereas we see someone in a burqa at the beach and we're thinking, really? Why? And then go to Saudi Arabia and the woman in the bikini would probably be stoned to death for wearing that out in public. So it's all very relative. Then we have subjectivism, which is the doctrine that objective truth does not exist. Rather, truth is a matter of what one experiences for oneself. And that, again, is that relativistic thinking that the truth is just a matter of opinion, and it's not.
So that's interesting because I find that there's a lot of subjectivism on like Twitter and like interacting with people in general online. Like they don't have actual truths.
Overgeneralization is another one. Absolutely. Science is the belief in the ignorance of experts. Richard Feynman. Yes. So when I throw this rock at you, keep in mind it's just an expression of my opinion.
Thanks, Bella.
I'm gonna duck. Quack. Salty's finally passed on. He's stoned to death. He wouldn't stop. He did that giant dab hit that sent him off to the angels. The ganja angels.
Oh. Applejack.
Let's have a moment of silence for Applejack striking out with all the women in the chat.
Oh no.
I'm very sad for him.
I love Applejack.
Yeah. I'm just kidding. He does great.
I know, he's the cutest flirt ever.
He's like a Mac Daddy.
He is.
Mac Daddy Mac.
Well, look at him. He's a handsome devil.
Oh, yeah, he's a handsome devil. He's got the long hair and
and he's gonna wear a mankini, and I'm never gonna be able to look at him the same. You're never gonna be the same to me once I see you in a mankini. Whatever I think in that moment, it's just you're never gonna be the same. Wow. Oh, thank you, Bella.
Wow. I don't know.
Oz is calling us all maggots and saying that he loves it. Okay.
Fine. Fine. You know, you got to have a few maggots in the bean patch. They have work to do.
Okay, so I want to go back to this. I think this is really interesting though, because I don't really like, like we say that word critical thinking all the time, but like actually like looking at it and like what does it really mean? I think I find it interesting.
So here are some good strategies to use during an argument. And when I say argument, I'm not talking about arguing with someone that you love who didn't do the dishes or take out the trash. These are techniques to use in a situation where it's not necessarily based on a relationship that involves love. Because when you get into love relationships, common sense, critical thinking, all of that stuff goes out the window. So first thing you want to do is clarify your understanding of what the other person's intentions are by asking, did I hear you say blah, 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 blah? Again, when you clarify what you hear so that you truly understand what they're saying, they can sometimes understand that what they're saying sounds like complete ridiculousness. Second, ask the other person whether there is any evidence that would cause him to change his mind. And the reason for this is studies have demonstrated that the more dogmatic a person is, and dogmatic means convinced of their own superiority in terms of a particular issue, the less chance they will change their mind, even if presented with compelling evidence. So, there's still a lot of people out there who think that vaccinations have something to do with autism. And despite the fact there is zero evidence connecting the two, they believe it without the evidence. And, usually what you see is the less evidence out there, the more dogmatic they're going to be. Number 3, suggest a timeout in which each of you will try to find the best evidence for the conclusion you hold. If you end up in an argument about something, and let's say the political candidates for president, or whether or not the deal for the Iran nuclear deal is a bad one or a good one, say, you know what, let's take 15 minutes, look up what we find, and then we'll come back together and talk about it. Lastly, ask why the person thinks the evidence on which you are relying is so weak. Again, oftentimes people will be full of bombastic, loud argument, but they don't really have many facts. So if you walk into an argument and you have the facts and they're not listening to you, ask them, why are you not listening to the facts? And sometimes they'll have a reasonable argument, and sometimes they'll say, well, that's just what I believe in. If you go back to the previous slide, just because it's your opinion doesn't mean it's true.
Well, I beg to differ.
Oh, what's what?
If it's my opinion, it is true. God damn it. Quit arguing with me. Go to bed. Get out of my yard. Damn kids. What was the question?
Luke of the Bind said, this might be why I enjoy learning about different types of religions and philosophies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Understanding where someone's thinking is coming from has been formed by makes it easier to communicate. Absolutely. I like understanding different points of view. Even if I don't I try to see it from their side, even if I don't agree, but I try to see things from other people's points of view.
Sure. John Kemper thinks marijuana is a gateway drug.
Really?
I agree with him. I think it starts all the way back, to mother's milk. It just lends itself to the next thing. Before you know it, you're smoking pounds of weed.
Popeye thinks that the lady sounds like she has big
We just go. Because that's the most inappropriate whistle you can do on the spot, Try that when somebody gets smacked for fucking, grabbing someone's butt or something.
Salty said she doesn't know shit about how people interact with each other.
We do. We have a different point of view. I don't know which one it is, but I'm sure one of them doesn't line up. Wheat is murder. T-shirts on the way. Perfect. She just get a box of Wheaties with Bruce Jenner on the cover. And then that's just, I don't know what that means, but it's some kind of weird gotcha for somebody. I don't understand virtue signals well enough, I think. Or grifting for that matter. God damn it. Someone send me some money so I can get some grifting lessons. No? Is that how you do it? My cousin's name is Booby. That's pretty cool. I like that. I had a buddy, Jody, up the road, up there where I used to live. His name was Boobs. Not Booby, but Boobs, like plural. He's a very nice ginger gentleman.
All right. Let's get back to our thing.
Yeah, let's get to it.
We're getting close here.
Almost done.
You can also try to find common ground. If you take that person's best reasons and put them together with your best reasons, is there some conclusion that both of you could embrace? Compromise is not a dirty word. And, sometimes you just have to agree to disagree, but other times you can see each other's points. Number 6, search for common values, other shared conclusions to serve as a basis for determining where the disagreement first appeared in your conversation. Number 7, try to present a model of caring and calm curiosity. As soon as
grifting lesson number 1, you pause what you're doing when you get a tip.
That's right. And you thank the tipper. And you ask for more. Send more, because it's going to cost a lot of money for proper grifting lessons.
It says for Stever's grifting lessons.
You hold it up to the camera so they can see it, because that's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Well, I don't know if he wants me to show.
Oh, he doesn't want you. No, you can't do that. Never mind. It's an anonymous, like a higher level grifter than me, who's just teaching me the ways. He's like my Mr. Miyagi.
Oh,
Applejack is my Mr. Miyagi of grifting. He's learning from the greats, the sensei Eliza.
Grifting lessons.
the School of Eliza. Thank you. You know what I want to thank? I want to thank people like DeFango and Tim Cass for bringing the grifting to the light so that everybody can see it. Call it what it is.
Okay, I don't know where that one went. Where'd it go? Oh, let's see. Wait, I did that. Wait. For more.
I can't get over
it. Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah, Eliza got one of my videos taken down.
She did.
Eliza Blue did.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if they have any more openings at the School of DeFango. See if I can get into that.
I heard Tim Pool is
Carson
doing
City,
some
Nevada
stuff
campus. I heard is
too. I don't watch him though.
I'm hoping I can get in. I've never gotten in on the ground floor of anything, Luke. I missed the .com bubble. Things just keep happening. The Bitcoin, I missed it. Son of a bitch. Wouldn't you know it? Hopefully grifting will be the thing, and I'll get in right at the bottom there. And I
don't think we're doing it right.
I don't think we're doing it right. It seems like it costs more to try to grift than the actual grifting.
Oh, I guess Tim Pool is saying he's gonna do a stream against Eliza now.
Oh, well, what? That only took like a month.
Oh, what? Like, because it's safe and all the information's out now?
Because everybody knows everything now. So now
everything's been filtered out.
Like
we've all gotten our legal notices from YouTube.
That's like the thing, though. That's his lane. He's making
the funny thing is that the video still exists otherwise.
Yeah,
it still exists. It's just not on YouTube.
Alternate platforms.
Allegedly
on alternate platforms that you can easily access if you want to. That we could probably, pass along, as it were, to you all. And we're not even calling people out daily. No, we're it's few and far between, and only where it's like, why isn't this a thing?
It's when it's important. You know what I mean? It's important. We're not just like, oh yeah, we just want to do a whole show and commentate about these commentators that are doing this. Comment
I don't want to
about these commenting on these guys.
I don't want to sit there and comment on other people that are watching some other Jimmy Dore video or some fucking inane bullshit. Like, no, that's not what we do.
I don't want to watch
part of that.
I don't want to watch somebody that's watching Sam Cedar to give commentary on Sam Cedar. Like, I don't watch him, and I don't want to watch him by proxy either.
Yeah, that's really the thing with all of these shows and things like that are based on that principle. I can't see them like really having any longevity because we're just trying to be outside of that bullshit.
John,
and
he's a new lame grifter.
Lame man.
Listen here, Mister.
Mouse said, I worked in music videos for years. There's no huge trafficking ring. That's down the street in the financing offices.
Oh,
I bet they got the money. They can fucking make shit happen.
That's awful. I mean, I'm all for like consenting adults doing consenting adult things. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely correct, Angela. Tim is a fence sitter. His lane just opened up though, so now he can pass. He can cut out in front of people and be like, "Oh, I told you first about what a sketchy person Eliza was."
No, he didn't.
No.
People like unfollowed him, and they were going after him, and they were like, of course, that he was raking all kinds of money in because he was. That's the only way you can get people's attention with some streams is by tipping them and giving them money. That's the only way that you're going to get your comment read. Otherwise, you're not paying for it. So, you know, and so when that's the case and they really want you to cover something and you don't cover it, what's going to happen? You're going to get bombarded with a bunch of super chats saying like, hey, cover this, because people feel inclined enough to give a super chat and give money and finances to hopefully get you to pay attention to it.
Right. And also, I think I'd like to take this opportunity to whistle each time that I think Applejack is thinking about boobs.
What? I'm thinking about boobs now.
All right. That was fun. Again, Jesus, dude. It's all right. You know, he had a couple of drinks. It's fine. I can't abide Tim's show. I watched initially because I was checking out all independent media but his grift is too obvious, and he excused the actions out of Trump that he called out others for. Anthony Malecki says, what's an Eliza Blue? Seb Applejack says, fuck Timcast, but to have bigger shows.
Okay, I was trying to read the comment on the screen, Steve.
Yes, correct.
Popeye said, even current events get to be too much, and if that's all you talk about, be my guest. Yeah, I like to do, like, you know, a mix of things. And Eliza Blue is a person that, oh my gosh, is a mess. She claims that she is a sex trafficking advocate and survivor. Oh, she doesn't use the word survivor. What word does she use?
Victim?
No.
Gecko.
No.
Parsnip.
People asked her questions and she got accounts allegedly censored. She had one of my videos taken down.
Yep. Today, in fact, right before we started this one, we realized, oh, excellent.
Yeah, because I saw that there was Chrissy Mayer and Fair and Balanced. They both got videos taken down as well. And they also got the same legal strike. And
right.
Yeah.
Yep. Everybody got the same whammy at the same time. And even though we tried to remove the offensive piece of video in question.
Oh, no. Mouse.
It didn't matter. Every time Steve and Lucky read one of my jokes, Roger Meadows gets $2 off the burrito. Well
Luke,
played.
only 5. You are slacking.
Well played, sir.
You're slacking. You need to think about boobs even more.
That's a collective one. Those are worth 50. That's 50 boobs. You ever see that bit, Steve Martin? Remember that when he's like, look at the titties up there. There must be 57 of them. Yeah. 57.
John, seriously. She does seem like a psyop.
Mm-hmm. Ironic. Eliza also has boobs. Coincidence?
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I'm going to mute us.
As the verbal heat is turned up, remember that you're a learner, not a warrior. So you're not trying to decimate their argument. You're trying to understand their argument. And then if their argument is ridiculous, you can give them information demonstrating that their argument is not sound. Last on this page, number 8, make certain your face and body suggest humility rather than the demeanor of a know-it-all. So again, what you're looking for here is not to be a pompous, pretentious jerk, but rather somebody who wants to learn and grow and express themselves in a reasonable way. So let's talk about what weak sense critical thinking is. This is the use of critical thinking to defend your current beliefs, but you're not listening to another's. The purpose of this is to resist and annihilate opinions and reasoning different than your own. So if you are as dogmatic about a subject that you're not going to listen to the other person's perspective, this may be critical thinking, but it's a weak sense critical thinking. And, at least initially, you should always walk into a discussion with an open mind. And then realize the person is full of BS. Now, on the other hand, we have what's called strong sense critical thinking. And this is the use of critical thinking to evaluate all claims and beliefs, especially one's own. The purpose of this is to protect ourselves against self-deception and conformity. It will allow us to strengthen our beliefs because they have been rigorously tested. If we can validate our own perceptions, beliefs, and values in a rational way, then we can feel good about the fact that our beliefs have been tested and we still believe in them. This will become more apparent as we go through the chapters and you see more and more examples of this. So that finishes up chapter 1. If you have any questions, please email or text me. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day and
All right. Now we are unmuted. So I thought that was really interesting. I mean, I know it's like an official, like kind of like a seminar thing, but I'm going to put the link in here in the chat.
Yeah.
For you guys.
I'm a shapeshifter. Shape grifter. You don't know me. Mouse said woke dolphins and whales are all pissed because we named the planet after dirt.
So this is from like 7 years ago, but pretty sure she has more of these, I think.
That's right. Thank you, Mouse, for keeping everybody on the right path.
Yeah, she's got other.
She's got other PowerPoint presentations. What, you saying she don't? What?
And I don't know, you know what I mean? Like,
take a look.
I don't know about all of her stuff, but
Mouse said send Lucky and Steve 1 ounce of quality herb for the full course. If you wanna learn more, we will send you Rachel Shiken's full course for 1 ounce of premium quality marijuana. Oh, we can only THC 8. God damn it. Son of a bitch, Josh. This will not stand.
That was,
I don't know. People send fucking everything now.
This is our her link to her PowerPoint right here, just so you guys.
That's right.
You gonna check it out? Oh, whoop.
I just did that just because I knew Applejack had thought of boobs again, at least once in that time.
So I thought it was really important to maybe start, talking about the critical thinking skills that we have and how we look at things and what are our, where do we find our values as a society as a whole. Because I feel like that's causing us a lot of division by not knowing where our values really do lie. And then on top of it, when you try to talk about certain things or ask questions about certain things, you can get shut down, you know, really easily. And then what? You know, if you ask questions and people give you so much backlash about asking questions and then you self-censor yourself, then what good is that?
Kiss My Grift. Side boob grifters. That sounds like a good band. Gotta wear like
boobs.
Everybody could wear like muscle t-shirts.
Wait, what?
The side boob grifters. Stever and the side boob grifters. Yeah.
Me too, Popeye.
It's true. Asking questions is all scurry. Popeye misses Peaches now because my whistle is so not. Actually, Steve is good to hit up for weed growing advice. Yes. I did. Spent the last 3 months smoking like Cheech and Chong off one plant. Try it. Give it a try. Try Stever's new weed grift live on Lucky Burrito After Dark. Lucky Burritos after party super show.
Oh, that's awesome, Little.
Yeah, see, Oz, you gotta send that box of whistles, man. This is what. That's it. That's all I got, bro.
I know, right?
I'm pitchy. Hey, I had a rough day with Lucky. We're a little pitchy. Okay, forgive us.
What is happening? What are you putting in the chat, Applejack? I don't
Applejack
even know.
is putting his status in the chat like 87 times. Just in case everybody wants to know it.
Oh, he reached the goal.
He made the status goal.
Hey, that's awesome, Applejack. I will.
Yeah.
I will share
Put
it when
that
I
on
go
there.
on Twitter. I will.
Put it on the thingy.
Congratulations.
I used to do it with the acorn, but
I'm so proud of you.
not very good at that.
It's really
anymore.
amazing what Applejack is doing for his community. And I can't wait to have the show where we get to cover you in your mankini and you get to tell me all about it. I wish I could be there with you. I know you would totally try to give me a wet hug and I would be like, no. No, because I don't want to jump in that cold water with you. Oh my gosh. He is a good bad boy. Steve could go in the water with you and he could wear leggings.
Yep. Yeah, no, I've been successfully and unsuccessfully growing weed for about forever, since I was 12. Because we were lucky, and one of our older brother people in our neighborhood decided, hey, all you kids got all that weed from that warehouse, that mafia fucking warehouse. You guys want to know how to grow it? Because you got so fucking piles of seeds, and it's just like, sexy mexy. And we threw it in the ground, man. We had a whole acre of fucking weed when I was 12 in West Warwick, Rhode Island, allegedly. And ever since then, it's been a thing that I like to do. I like to do it. It's a lot of fun.
John's like, I'm not coming to a mankini show. Oh no.
Wrap that thing up.
John. I think it's brave to wear a mankini and jump in the cold water.
Yeah, cold water is one thing. But if you're not in a fucking thermal wetsuit, it's unforgiving. He's gonna jump in a Great Lake for fuck's sake.
It's crazy, but he's doing it for such a good cause.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you, Applejack. I think it's really amazing
I think that's
what you're
badass.
doing. and I can't wait to do a follow-up show about it.
Yeah, you better get lots of film. Videotape that shit. Make, give somebody $20 to follow you around with the camera. And fucking film that shit. We'll make the best montage ever created.
And Mouse, if you have one too, we could totally montage you in there.
We could do a triage montage. We could edit them together into a beautiful tribute that's guaranteed to raise your grifting status to at least, higher levels. I don't know what I'm saying, but thank you all for.
We love you, Applejack. We love what you're doing. We love what you're doing for your community, and we support you.
Yep.
100%. It's really amazing. And if you're still looking for people, like you want to reach out to your community to find more people that are in need of help of a certain area, I would suggest looking into seeing if there's a soup kitchen or anything along those lines in that area, because they'll usually, at least, might not want to work with a particular organization, but they'll be able to tell you how to maybe reach some of the people if you're looking for that.
Oh my goodness. Applejack is explaining to Mouse that the mankini in question is the one from Borat the movie, except for it's red. It's nice, you like my wife. Oh God, that's really funny. Yeah, sometimes people act like dickheads and whatever, and get over it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
we have gotten past it. And this what is this? Is this the end of the thing? Because we're at the end of the end of your presentation.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we've had a long day. And so I think we're gonna wrap up.
Wrap it up. I'll take it.
But
as long as Applejack ain't naked. Yikes.
So we're gonna go get some rest and chill out and all of that. And I hope you guys all have a great night. I would love to thank everybody who has helped support this channel.
Fucking A. Thank you all.
Hanging out, liking it, sharing it. The donations that we get. Thank you. Special thank you to Applejack. The tips really help. And we appreciate you guys, all of you.
Yep, we do. And much love, familitas. We see you little beaners later. Can I say that? Is that politically incorrect?
Are we beaners?
I don't know. Well, you guys are. There's beans and burritos.
We're Baritonians. I mean,
Excuse me for my insolence.
Listen, we were named by Rick Overton. He named us Baritonians.
We will ask.
That's what he named this community. We have to get the little clip of him saying that. Because I asked him to make me a clip for New Year's, like not this New Year. It was the year before, so it's like a year ago. I asked him, and so I asked him to make a little like welcome to the New Year clip, and he calls us Baritonians.
Yeah, which is awesome. And
we love Rick. I wonder if I can get him to record a new one, like for me.
Probably, he's a good guy.
If you guys haven't seen it and you guys have access to Amazon Prime, you should look up Rick Overton's special on there.
Yes,
it is hilarious.
He's a comedy wizard.
Oh my gosh, I love that guy so much.
Fucking funny. But we love you all. Thank you all for hanging out with us. We will see you probably, tomorrow, the next day. We'll talk about it. All right.
What is it? Thursday?
I don't know. Yeah,
we'll be around the next couple of days.
We'll be around. be round the way, everybody. Much loves. Bella, make sure you're careful up there painting in the pigeon poop. And
what?
He's
What's happening?
He was painting Santa Clauses with brown noses because the car exhaust is so. On the weekend, Steve turns up. She's my cherry pie, and washes Lucky's van in shorts cutoffs. That's not true, but also very funny. Stop saying funny things.
Oh, Oz.
All right. We love you, Oz. We love all of y'all's.
Yes.
And I do not even own a pair of cutoffs. Okay. Thank you.
What?
Thank you very much, baby.
Wait, did I get to the end of all the chats? I don't even know.
I don't know.
I think I did.
Did you?
Did
I? Bella says, change my sex, burn my cash, stick my tongue up the client's ass, and I vanish into nowhere's end, New Jersey. Kevin Gilbert. Poetic.
All right.
We love you.
Good night, everybody.
Peace, people.
We're gonna peace out.